worked. So, abbreviated version of Metaphysical Process 1, incorporating papyrus text, iconography, temple imagery, process narrative, and Assyrian mysteries from the tomb of KV 62 of Tutankhamun. KV is an Egyptological naming device that is used to number the tombs in the order in which they were discovered. So here on the left, letter C, you see here one thing to be pointed out that I haven't seen anyone else point out is that all around the scene at the top, you have the symbol of Pet, of heaven. And in each scene, the symbol of heaven has a specific philosophical premise related to each scene. So it's not the same for every scene. And that has been laid out in the book, the volume 1. Panoramic view of the tomb 1 of Tutankhamun, and this panoramic photo was taken by my partner, Asarma. And so to the right, you have the body in the idealized form. So in the idealized coffin form in a shrine that is being pulled by the priests that are responsible for the ritual performances of the burial, the construction of the shrines, putting the proper text on each of the shrines, putting the proper text on the idealized body form, etc. And they have a rope and they're towing it. So they're towing it to put it in here, which was the tomb. And they are responsible for taking care of the body, putting oils on it, preparing it, dressing it, etc. So this is taking place, and what's going on with the initiate, which in this case is Tutankhamun, at this point is that he is at the judgment scene. So he's in like in the Netakurt region, going through the judgment scene, the lower astral plane. And this is the east wall of the device. Directly opposite that is the west wall of the device. And on the west wall, labeled A, is a segment of Metaphysical Process 1 of the Dua text. So what it's saying is that he's making, so over here can be seen as the movement through the Akhet, and now entering into the deeper region of the astral plane. And once into this region of the astral plane, then these baboon divinities represent, firstly, these divinities here. So this personality must master the principles of these divinities and master the principles of the baboon divinities to gain entrance into this region of the netherworld. And if the personality is able to master these principles. And what I mean by master these principles is master them within yourself. Then you move to the south wall. And in the south wall, he meets divinities. Meets Heteru, meets Aset, meets Anpu. He receives the Ankh to the nostril and given a special spiritual substance that's called Nini. And then, so that's label E. So when he goes through that process, then the process moves to the north wall. And in the north wall, firstly, he goes through what is referred to as the opening of the mouth. So what's happening here is that he's going through a period of expansion in consciousness. And you can see here, he is dressed as a Tsar. He's holding two flails. He has an Atef crown. He's in a mummified form. And he is essentially this person that is called I, who is doing the opening of the mouths on Tutankhamun, is essentially a reflection of Tutankhamun. They're essentially the same person. And so he's going through this process of expansion in consciousness. And the priest is wearing the leopard skin, so he's the Sem priest doing the ritual. So this ritual is if this ritual is done on the physical, it's done by two people, right? You have the priest and you have the person that is playing Asar. But what this is explaining is something that is occurring internally within the personality. They're explaining an expansion in consciousness by one's own spiritual insight. So that's why they're essentially the same person. And notice here that the one who is the priest is wearing a blue crown. So he's doing something active, something that is an antithesis to something. So what it is an antithesis to delusion. And that's why the expansion in consciousness can occur. So after this expansion in consciousness, you move towards this goddess, Nut, who gives him more Nini, more spiritual substance, divine protective consciousness grace. While he holds an Ankh, he holds a seker, which is a club, and he holds a staff. And then he has the diadem around his head. So raising of the life force, the power to subdue the enemies with the seker. And the enemies are the egoistic, the enemies is egoism, pride, insolence, resentment, enmity, jealousy, greed. And the Ankh relates to the process of life that leads to immortality. He goes through that, receives the Nini from the goddesses, so he receives 2 jolts of Nini. Then he goes here and he is met. Here is actually essentially his Ka body. So essentially the mind. And what the text tells us is that he's doing a deba, he's doing an exchange. So he's giving up his mind to embrace Asar. So he's doing a mystical exchange, letting go of cognition and mind to become one with Asar. So it's a mystic exchange of mind for soul. And that's the culmination of the process on the westernmost portion of the northern wall. So this whole device lays out a metaphysical process, metaphysical initiatory narrative that takes place in the dua, in the astral plane. And so the segment of the Amdua text has profound implications for what occurs on this southern wall and the northern wall. So on the east, you have papyrus type. You also see these in the tombs of nobles as well, this kind of setup. And then you have Abdul on the west wall, and the south wall, you have temple style text. And on the northern wall, you have more temple style text and makeup and configuration to show that all of these seemingly separate types of genres are essentially puzzles plugged into each other. You can plug them into each other if you have the proper, if it's being operated by sages, which is obviously what is happening here. The sages know what to put where, and the priests and priestesses act it out with their work. So I put this here to show how the Amdua text works with other types of text as well.